Hello and welcome to Algebra 1, Chapter 4.4, Writing Equations in Slope-Intercept Form. So, let's remember first what is slope-intercept form. And it is y equals mx plus b. And when you're asked to write something in slope-intercept form, you do need to make sure that the y is on the left, your x is the first term on the right, and then your constant. Okay, so what two things do we need to be able to write an equation in slope-intercept form? Because the x and the y stay x and y, so what we end up needing then is an m or a slope and a b or y-intercept. So if we don't have those two items, can we find them? So do you know of ways to find slopes? Do you know of ways to find a y-intercept? Well, let's investigate. Write an equation of a line that passes through the point 2, -3 with a slope of 1/2. So what are we missing? If we're going to write this in slope-intercept form, we have our slope, but what are we missing? We're missing the b. But what else have they given us? They've given us a point, and if you remember, every point is an x and a y. So if I have a y, I have an m, and I have an x, can I solve for b? Yes. Okay, so for y, we're going to put in -3. For m, we're going to put in 1/2. X is 2 plus b. So -3 equals 1/2 times 2 is just 1 plus b. You are solving for b, so you're getting b by itself. b is 4. So once you have that, you're going to write y equals your slope, x, and in this case -4 because your y-intercept was a -4. Okay, so let's try that one more time. I have a slope, but I do not have a y-intercept. But because I have a point, I have an x and a y. So I would start out by writing out slope-intercept form. Then you're going to fill in the blanks. So y is 7, m is -1, x is -4 plus b. This is 7 equals +4 plus b minus 4, 3 equals b. Okay, and then we're going to write it in slope-intercept form. Y equals -1x plus 3. And this time I did plus 3 because it was a +3. So what happens if you're given 2 points and that's it? Again, to write something in slope-intercept form, you have to have a slope and a y-intercept. And I have neither of those. Okay, so here's the deal. The very first thing you must do is find the slope. And if you remember your slope formula, this is how we're going to find the slopes. We're going to do -8 minus a -4 over -2 minus a -3. See here, so that's going to be a -4 over 1, or you can just consider it a -4. So you're first going to do that, then you're going to come back and you're going to plug them into slope-intercept form. Now, I have an m, here's my m. You need an x and a y. You can pick either point, just make sure you pick both coordinates from the same point. You can't pick an x from one and a y from the other. So I'm going to go ahead and use the first point. So I'm going to have -4 equals -4 times -3 plus b. So -4 equals 12 plus b. By the way, you might want to check and make sure if you use the other point, would you end up with the same y-intercept? So now that I have a slope and a y-intercept, y equals -4x minus 16. So the deal is really that you need to find these missing things that you need to fill in your slope-intercept form. Okay, so one more like this. Do we remember the first step? Find your slope. Okay, so let's do -8 minus 12 over 4 minus a -1. So it's going to be -20 over 5, which is -4. Okay, second step, Find your y-intercept. I'm going to use the first point again, but you can use either point. 12 equals negative 4 times negative 1 plus b. So we get 4 plus b, and we're going to subtract 4. 8 equals b. Okay, and I got my two things I need, so y equals negative 4x plus 8. Alright, one more word problem. In 2005, Tim's cost for self-service regular gasoline was $2.60 on the 1st of June and $2.82 on the 1st of July. Write a linear equation to predict Tim's cost of gasoline on the 1st of any month in 2005 using 1 to represent January. Okay, so we're going to think if the price of gas was linear, okay, and 1 represents January, and remember time always goes on the x, the two ordered pairs we're looking at, let's see here, June would be the 6th month at 260, and July would be the 7th month at 282. So again, we have these 2 points. You're doing it the same way. So we're finding our slope. So let's do 282 minus 260. Make sure to do y's on top, x's on the bottom. So we're looking at 0.22, and it's going to be over 1. So I'm just going to leave it 0.22. And then I want to find a y-intercept. So I'm going to use y equals mx plus b. I'm going to go ahead and use my first point. 260 equals 0.22 times 6 plus b. Get out my calculator. 0.22 times 6 is 1.32. Subtract 1.32 from both sides. And that is 1.28, and so then with that information, the linear equation for gas would be 0.22x plus 1.28, and you could definitely change those to fractions if you wanted to. Okay, that was 4-4. Remember, the two things you have to write an equation in slope-intercept form is your slope and your y-intercept. Have a good day. Let me know if you have questions.